Today we're going to be talking about the Chedoke Arm and Hand Activity Inventory. So what we're going to be going over real quick is going to be the general information about the inventory, administration, scoring, normative information, and then some psychometrics with the MDC and MCID. So the CAHI assesses activities of daily living, upper extremity functioning. And it is a performance measure assessment specific for people diagnosed with a stroke. It encourages bilateral function using both the affected and unaffected hand or arm. So we'll see in the administration video where I say use both arms to complete whatever task. It takes up to 30 minutes to complete, usually around 25 minutes, and the age range of 18 years and older. Okay, so the functional assessment's gonna assess these 13 items. Opening a jar of coffee. We didn't have a jar of coffee, so we just did a peanut butter jar. Calling 911, not actually calling 911, but just simulating calling 911. Drawing a line with a ruler, putting toothpaste on a toothbrush, cut medium consistency putty, pour a glass of water, wring out a washcloth, clean a pair of eyeglasses, zip up a zipper, do up 5 buttons, dry back with towel, place container on table, and carry bags upstairs. And this is a picture from the inventory of someone wringing out a towel. Okay, so the materials for the client is going to be a jar of coffee, a phone, a ruler and pen, toothpaste and toothbrush, knife, fork, putty, glass of water, wet washcloth, eyeglasses, jacket and zipper, shirt with 5 buttons, towel, Rubbermaid 38-liter container with a 10-pound weight, and a plastic grocery bag with a 4-pound weight. These are so specific because they actually come from the assessment, so that's why they're so specific. And then the materials for the administrator is going to be the paper that has the scoring sheet and then a pencil or a pen. Okay, so for scoring, it's going to be based on the levels of functioning, which is that 7-point. And I'm going to start from bottom up. So number 1 is total assistance. The client expends less than 25% of the effort. 2 is max assist. Weak limb stabilizes during task. The client expends less than 50% of the effort, but at least 25. Mod assist is 3. Weak limb manipulates and stabilizes during the task. The client requires more help than touching. 4 is min assist. With physical contact, the client requires no more than touching and client expends 75% or more effort. 5 is supervision. The client requires no more help than standby, cueing, or coaxing without physical contact. A helper sets up needed items or applies orthoses. 6 is mod independent. Activity requires any one or more of the following: an assistive device, more than reasonable time, or there are safety or risk considerations. And then 7 is that complete independence. All the tasks are safe. There's no modifications, assistive devices or aids, and it's also within reasonable time. Okay, so here's a picture of the score form. So you can see that you can just put the 7s down there or whatever the person's going to get, and then you'll add it up at the bottom. And then over here is a page out of the inventory that discusses the different components of what we should be looking at and assessing as the person performs the tasks. And this is in the inventory for every single task as well. So they'll have different pictures of someone performing a task and what we should be looking for. Okay, the normative information, there was 39 original participants, 19 were female, 20 were male, 24 were acute stroke survivors, and 15 were chronic stroke survivors. The days post onset of their stroke for acute patients, it was a mean of 27.3. And for chronic, it was 101.7. The mean age for acute was 71.4 years old, and then for chronic was 64.0 years old. And some other qualifiers. A majority of people, their affected side was their right side with 22, 16 had their left side be affected, and then only 1 was bilateral. For neglect, there was 22 present and 17 absent. For proprioception, 5 people did not have any proprioception, was absent, 14 was impaired, and 18 was normal. Depression, 7 people had depression out of the study, and then for hemiopsia, it was 8. Okay. So for the reliability and validity, it's both extremely high, but only for these specific validities and reliabilities. So For conversion cross-sectional validity, there was high conversion cross-sectional validity between the CHI and the ARAT, with the R value being 0.93. And then the cross-sectional discriminant validity, there was low correlation between the CHI and the CMSA shoulder pain scale, which means that it's doing its job measuring upper limb functioning. And then within inter-rater reliability, there was high inter-rater reliability, the ICC being 0.98 with a 95% confidence interval being 0.96 to 0.99. And then the test retest reliability, there was high test retest reliability of 0.98. These were the only reliabilities and validity scores that were created for this. So it is a little difficult to understand the other aspects of validity and reliability as there's no actual data in regards to that. But within this data, it is very high within the validity and reliability. Okay, so the minimal detectable change for the 39 participants was 6.3, but it did not discuss anything about the MCID in any article. The only information that it provided was that the ARATs was 5.7. And then here's the video of the administration and the references. Thank you.